Hi there crafters, it's Louise with you today on behalf of Kitaholic Kits, and I'm sharing a new double page multi-photo scrapbook layout, which I know is very unique for me. I don't do this often, but I'm sort of trying to challenge myself this year to get out of my comfort zone a little bit more. I've gotten a little bit stale in my scrapbooking, so I'm having a play around with a couple of new fun techniques and challenges to myself. So I've got this series of photos from a recent trip where my son and I got to spend the day in Brisbane, and we had a fun day exploring South Bank and the parklands. So I've got lots of photos from the day and I wanted to put them all on one page. So I have cut them to size off camera, and I am going to also cut some of the little Project Life sheet elements that you can see as well, and a couple of pattern papers. Now I've popped a little strip at the bottom of the page because I really had no idea what I was doing going into this. I struggle with double page layouts, and I think that's why I don't create them very often, because I can't be as arty as I feel I like to be when I'm creating a layout. So now that I'm sort of happy with my general idea of a background, I start to think about delving a little bit deeper. And because this is my main photo, I decide that I'm going to mount it on black. And I also decide that I need to add a little spot for my journaling on that top left-hand side. So I simply just go to my stash and find a piece of paper that's suitable for journaling. I'm going to doodle around the outside and highlight that a little bit and add my journaling there as well. So now as I start to think about this layout, I'm going to add a little area of interest down in this bottom right hand corner as my way to make things a little bit arty and a little bit fun, so that I can sort of create that cluster and build a little area of interest. I mean, obviously I want my photos to shine, but I also want to make a pretty page that I can look at in my album. So definitely having a little play with this doily and a couple of embellishments over the top of one of those Project Life. So I definitely start to feel a little bit more comfortable about this layout as it evolves. It turns into something that I like more and more. You can see it has flow with the journaling and the photos and the Project Life cards and the story that I'm creating, but it also has that sort of pretty element to it as well. Now, once I'm satisfied with the way the page is embellished and I start to add a few little bits and pieces here and there, most of this is not stuck down as yet. So I think I'm going to have a bit of a play around with the background. Now, because I've got my layout the way I want it, I want to remember where it is. So I grabbed two new pieces of white cardstock, and I'm going to use one of the pattern papers. So the face paper, how it's got this sort of watercolor circle background, and it's got lots of different layers. Now, most of this gets covered up, so it doesn't need to be perfect, but I just want to add a little bit of something in the background. So as you can see, I've done two of those in the Distress Crayon, the prize ribbon, and then I'm going to take just a little bit of the salvage patina and do some straight lines. Now, it's very subtle, so you don't see a lot of this on the actual page, but I know it's in there and it does add that little bit of extra interest. So once that's dry, I'm going to stick everything back down, attach it all together, and that's much better. I really like how this has turned out. Thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoyed, and don't forget to hit that little subscribe button.